Have you heard about the plausible argument? Alright, pay attention now, please.
If there is a plausible argument that democracy began in Igbo land, the very first written constitution on this planet was written by the Igbo people.
Now you heard that correctly. It isn't a mistake. You can hear it again. Pay attention.
Democracy began in Igbo land. The very first written constitution on this planet was written by the Igbo people.
The very first government on earth was set up by the Igbo people. The white man, the red man, the Jews, they know it.
The very first democracy that involved self-governance, that worked for everybody, not just the Greek wealthy, but everybody, was in Igbo land. And the very first democracy that permitted women leaders was in Igbo land.
When the white man wants to lie, he will use plausible words. He will use complex, subtle words to explain simple things. What he's trying to tell you here that it happened in Igbo land did not happen in Igbo land. It happened when we were in the Middle Earth, in the place we call Sumer, land of Sumer. Then we were called Sumerians, which is present-day Babylon or Iraq and Iran. The black people we left there to return as ancient people, they are still there. Many of them are still there. Because we as ancient people battered this world.
The West, Europe, we were still in the Dark Ages.
When was the Dark Ages? The Dark Ages was the time when dark men ruled the world. Sometimes they were called the Moors. Were they really the Moors? No. These were rebels left by Iboes around North Africa. They became the Moors. They conquered Europe.
And yet the Igbo had figured out a way to have a just and meaningful government and a just and meaningful society and due process and fairness. And to this day, you see, there was a country.
Yes, there was a country, but the white man had to kill it. They killed it deliberately. Because an Igbo, or ancient Hebrew nation standing at the heart of Africa is a threat to everything the white man stands for. The Igbos are the regal class of the whole black in the whole world. So, if you are an alien into a world, a red man from a red planet into a black humus earth, what do? You have conquered it. You arrest the regal class and take them into captivity. That's why you have our children under their legs as we speak right now. They said they are going to make a case in the Supreme Court. For what? Just listen.
Later when I learned something most people don't know.
This man is so sure he's speaking of something most people don't know. And by most people he's referring mainly to the Iboes and to the general public in this world, except a few class of the white men.
Democracy began in Igbo land. The very first written constitution on this planet was written by the Igbo people.
Do you know the law this guy is referring to that was written by the Iboes? The first law that was written on earth is called the Code of Hammurabi. It was written by the Sumerians. He's referring to us when Iboes were called the Sumerians, when we inhabited all the whole land of Babylon before the aliens conquered us. That is what he's referring to here, the Code of Hammurabi. The letter was codified as a statute or a canon in the Decalogue by Ramoshe.
The very first democracy that involved self-governance, that worked for everybody, not just the Greek wealthy, but everybody, was in Igbo land.
Is he speaking like a fool? Is he a fool? This fellow is a member of the secret intelligence. He didn't come here on his own. He is a sent agent to speak. He's even allowed and given pass to speak these things that he's saying. He's not just saying it. They're not like us, that any man can just sell his land, take money and travel overseas and begin to talk nonsense. No. He was sent to say this, to drop this.
And the very first democracy that permitted women leaders was in Igbo land. The West, Europe, we were still in the Dark Ages. And yet the Igbo had figured out a way to have a just and meaningful government.
Now, don't get confused here when he says Iboes figured a way. No, we didn't figure any way. We wrote it down. We codified it. In the Code of Hammurabi, in the Decalogue, the Hebrews had the laws. The laws came from Elu or Eligwe, from Ezelu. We didn't just figure it out. It was written down. Written down in the Indora, which they call Torah. Some of you don't even know that what the white man calls Leviticus actually was or is Iwichoku, the law of the Most High. Don't forget, Ezelu means Israel. The righteous kingdom of the King of Heaven, Alezomo Ezelu, is coming. It is at hand.
And a just and meaningful society, and due process, and fairness. So it is my honor to have been able to work with the Igbo community. We are contemplating preparing an appeal to the United States Supreme Court.
Pharaoh scratches his head and tells us he's contemplating. Pharaoh, please. And what have you done to the children on your feet since 400 years ago? You think we are fools? Then we will be fools forever if we are waiting for you, please. Now, this is the foundation of the reason they don't want you to be a nation. Because you have the law, you have the means with which to turn this world into a good place, where every Tom, Dick and Harry can live in peace. They know that. They know that you are capable of setting up a kingdom that will bring everlasting peace on earth. The kingdom of Chukwu. They know.